Right.
The only way you can effectively blackmail a politician right now is by saying, hey, I have a thumb drive of them being with a little kid. Because if you come to them and you go, I have a thumb drive of you cheating on their wife, they're like, yeah, I don't think my voters are really going to care. Oh, I have a thumb drive of you cheat on your taxes. Yeah, who cares? Everybody knows I cheat on my taxes. Everybody cheats on their taxes. In the 50s, you could blackmail people with any range of crimes they might have done. You know, Brady Bunch era, like people like, oh, you cheated on your wife. Oh my gosh. Now people are like, yeah, I cheat on mine. I mean, I don't, but like that's the general consensus in the lower morality, especially if you're not a religious conservative echelons of society. So only thing that gets people's attention, politicians and the voters, is I got a thumb drive of you behind a waterfall doing some nefarious stuff with a 7-year-old.
Hey, what's up, you guys? We're back with another guest. She spoke last night, and she was amazing. So
on fire.
Yeah, on fire. We got Leigh Dundas with us today.
Yep.
So we're here at the Rev 17 Destroying the Whore of Babylon conference, and it's been great. And we are supporting building the Peace of Heaven facility to help restore and heal trafficked kids. So Leigh, what's the most important thing about this weekend?
I just think the work that we're here to do. I mean, child slavery, human trafficking worldwide is a huge problem. Probably your followers are pretty savvy, but in case they don't know the numbers, the current estimates are it's 150 billion with a B dollar a year industry, 40 million with an M people are currently enslaved, which I like to give frames of reference because when you get that many commas and zeros, it all just kind of becomes overwhelming. California's population right now is about 40 million. So literally it's like visualizing every single citizen in this state being trafficked. And 90% of trafficking involves some sort of an act of sexual servitude, even if it's a woman picking strawberries in the Central California Valley.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, unlike the men, she might be being labor trafficked, but at the end of her days, she's doing double duty and probably being sex trafficked too. So it's a lot of women, it's a lot of kids, it's a lot of servitude, and it's a huge problem. I mean, think about trying to rescue everybody in the state of California from this kind of a crime. That's what we're up against worldwide. So I think the best part of this conference and the primary purpose is to bring awareness to the issue and get people to get off their duff and get into the fight. It is a fight. It is a war. It is the way they are controlling our politicians. If you're like, I don't really care about slavery, that's something that happens in Asia. You're incorrect. Happens here too. But if you're like, well, I do care about politics and keeping my right to bear a weapon and flap my jaw about anything I want under the First Amendment, well, the reason your politicians are being communist jerks in many cases is because there's a Hunter Biden laptop or something like it in their history. The only way you can effectively blackmail a politician right now is by saying, hey, I have a thumb drive of them being with a little kid. Because if you come to them and you go, I have a thumb drive of you cheating on their wife, they're like, yeah, I don't think my voters are really going to care. Oh, I have a thumb drive of you cheat on your taxes. Yeah, who cares? Everybody knows I cheat on my taxes. Everybody cheats on their taxes. In the 50s, you could blackmail people with any range of crimes they might have done. You know, Brady Bunch era, like people like, oh, you cheated on your wife. Oh my gosh. Now people are like, yeah, I cheat on mine. I mean, I don't, but like that's the general consensus in the lower morality, especially if you're not a religious conservative echelons of society. So only thing that gets people's attention, politicians and the voters, is I got a thumb drive of you behind a waterfall doing some nefarious stuff with a 7-year-old. That will still make everybody who's not themselves in California and across this country go, wait, the politician did what? So you want to control a politician, you get a thumb drive like that, whether it's true or not. You could just slip them a Mickey, throw a kid on the bed with them and make it look like something it's not and get a picture of them. But these are how our politicians are controlled. And if you want to straighten up our political system to some degree, to a very large degree, I would contend you have to actually fix the problem of human trafficking.
That's amazing how that all ties into human trafficking.
Inextricably intertwined is a little favorite phrase of us lawyers, and it means these things are like hairballed together. Like, you know, when you got your like fine chain necklaces and your like 3-year-old went through them, and you open up your drawer and you're like, what is this yarn ball cat nest that you and your husband are holding one end of the necklace? You're like, maybe, you know, is it 14 karat? Did I buy it at Target? Let's just toss it and buy new. But that is the true definition of like inextricably intertwined, and that is the degree of Venn diagram overlap we've got on bad politicians and some sort of usual trafficking, kid trafficking thing in their past.
Yeah. I mean, so our audience, ranges from the freedom-fighting patriot Christian to the normal
The
sheltered
normie.
person.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about to half of our audience is crazy,
Yeah.
but it's true.
Oh, it's completely true. It is completely true.
How would you help some of those, that part of our audience accept the fact that evil like that exists?
You can't fix what you don't know about, and you can't know about what you stick your head in the sand on. So really the first step is you need to, I don't care if you're in doubt, because even I hear crazy things where I'm like, really? Like, even as far down the rabbit hole and as awake as I am, I'll go, that's even making my brain go loopy, right?
Right.
You need to set aside that doubt and go, I'm going to just agree to listen unbiased. I'm just going to agree to listen, and then I'm going to agree to do my homework. I'm going to agree to talk to people who are in the know. If you don't think it happens, go to a conference like this. Go hear directly from the horse's mouth of a kid who was trafficked and is a survivor and is there sharing their story. And you will gradually realize, or just start reading the headlines. You know, Utah just had a bust of a judge who was involved in child porn. It happens, and we all think, and this is a normal human psychological mechanism to keep us safe and happy to not look at this. We like to, you hear about a serial killer killing somebody. Our brain will automatically be like, oh, they were wearing a short skirt. They were jogging at night. They had a ponytail. I don't have a ponytail. I have short hair. I know about this. I don't jog alone at night in a dark area. I am therefore not a victim. Your brain is cataloging the differences so it can differentiate what happened to them and give you a false, to some degree, sense that you are in control, and therefore you will not, because you're controlling your variables differently than those variables. You're drawing differences between the two data sets. Therefore, you will be safe. The reality is trafficking can and does happen everywhere. Child abuse, where you're not paying for the privilege of being a kid, you're just using them, happens everywhere.
Wow.
It is your neighbor. It is your brother. I sit on the Orange County Human Trafficking Task Force.
Yeah.
We did a bust, it was 10 years ago now, easy, maybe longer, probably 12. Came in one Monday morning. It's a group of faith leaders, cops from like Anaheim PD, Garden Grove. Every police department in the area in Orange County sends one representative. CHP sends a representative. Local prosecutors with the Orange County District Attorney's Office who prosecute the sex crimes. So you get all these people in a room sharing data, bringing people up to speed. They had done one of those 60 Minutes type of sting operations to get the Johns buyers who show up thinking they're going to buy a girl, and it's it's a young-looking female detective who was, decoying them online or whatever. And this cop, I think he was Huntington or Anaheim PD guy, he's looking kind of down in the mouth. I'm like, I thought this sting was a success. He goes, it was. My brother showed up and was arrested.
Oh no.
Wow.
So,
Whoa.
it knows no boundaries. It really knows no boundaries.
I mean, Natalie and I were talking to our neighbor with her kids almost got abducted. An adult female with kids.
And this is like just a normal store close to where we live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, if you haven't read a book by Gavin DeBecker, it's 30 years old now. I read it when I was in law school. I was like 19, 20 years old. It's called The Gift of Fear.
Okay.
He trains kings and queens and presidents worldwide, their private security detail, on personal protection.
Okay.
And he went through, as a young man when he was first getting into this field, and he interviewed the one who got away from Ted Bundy, the one who got away from Jeffrey Dahmer. He would interview the one survivor that managed to extricate themselves before they were given the axe by the serial killer or the serial. And he would download him, like, tell me your story, soup to nuts, A to Z, what happened? And they would be like, well, I had a feeling. They were, my lizard brain, I had a bad feeling, but I got in the elevator anyway. Or, I stopped to talk to the Ted Bundy guy anyway because he was on crutches and he looked harmless and he said he needed help, And then when I got to his VW bug, I thought it was kind of weird that the passenger seat was removed. And that was my second sort of flag. But, he was so nice, and he was so pleased and thank you and charming and upper middle class, and he was in law school. Her lizard brain was giving her endless feedback going, run. And so what he realized when you take these people through their stories is we like to say, oh, my mother's intuition or my women's intuition or my lizard brain was giving me this gut instinct. And he broke it down, and he realized it's not a gut instinct. It's thousands of little data points that your left brain is actually cataloging.
Okay.
Going, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. He lied to you there. He's saying the same thing, and he's lying again. The last time he said that, it was a lie. This time it's probably going to be a lie too. But it's all happening in like 5 seconds, or 5 minutes. And your brain doesn't have time to type out a Gone with the Wind thesis on all the outpoints in this guy's story. So instead, it just raises the hair on the back of your neck and your arms and goes, run, Forrest, run, right?
Yeah.
But when you actually take these survivors through their stories, there's tons of little tells that these criminals do that the women are cataloging without knowing it, and that's what's going into their gut instinct, which really isn't a gut instinct, it's science. It's very left brain neuroscience-y. Okay. And then he went through and he parsed down the similar tricks that they would use. Forced teaming is one. Okay. So if you and I break down in an elevator, and we have to work together to get out of the elevator. We're strangers at the beginning, but by the end of the hour, we're BFFs, so let's get coffee next week, because we were forced together to work as a team to solve a problem that naturally got presented to us in real life.
Right.
Predators will use forced teaming because it makes you feel like a team. To lower your guard and be friend, even though you're not friend. So a woman who escaped a serial rapist and was not murdered by him was coming into her building, and the front door wasn't locked. It was a locked building. That was the first red flag. Okay. As she gets in there, she's coming up the elevator was out. Second red flag. Now she's going up the staircase. She hears a voice, and he's like, I'll help you, because she's got groceries in both hands. She doesn't need help. She's not dropping anything. She's young. She's able-bodied. She's like, no, I got it. And he's like, no, really, let me. She's like, no, I got it. And she's like, no, I'm good, thanks, because hair on the back of her neck is up. She's already getting the creeper vibe. Yeah. And he's like, there's such a thing as being too proud. And he plays on the social niceness that we're all, and now she's feeling bad. Oh, I made this guy feel bad because I was kind of being rude. Fine, I'll let him. Trip, though. He guilt tripped her. I'll let him hold a bag. And he does the same thing. They get up the 5 flights of stairs, and as she's at her door, she's like, okay, thanks. And he's like, no, I'll just see you. And same thing. I forget what he did then. He guilt tripped her again. He goes, look, I will literally just set your groceries inside your door when you open it. I'm just here to help. And she ended up being for an afternoon. Oh, no. And he kept saying to be honest or something like that. And so after 4 or 5 times, he got up, he walked down the hallway, he closed a window that was open on a hot Chicago day or something like that. Yeah. He turned the music up. Okay, yeah. And she said she didn't even think. As soon as he got up to walk down the hallway, her body lifted off the bed. She tiptoed fully naked down the hall behind him. He went into the kitchen to get a carving knife to kill her with. Yeah. She slipped out her own front door, went across to the neighbors, quietly knocked, stark raving naked, was like, let me in. I'm in the hands of a serial killer. They did. Wow. And thank God. Yeah. So Gavin DeBecker, the book is called The Gift of Fear. If you're female and you're not dead yet, or you have female children or nieces or nephews or grandchildren, as soon as they're about 10, 12 years old, have them read this book. He diagrams all of these forced teaming. Yeah. All of these things that the guys do to let your guard down, get under and through your defenses, and you're just a much savvier person once you read this book. Yeah. But I don't know how I got off on that, but yeah, it's a thing. Predators are a thing, and we need to know how to avoid them.
I was just reading a book to my kids. I think it's called Sign of the Beaver or something, and there's a story just like that, and the boy is by himself in late 1800s in his cabin in the middle of nowhere, and like a retired soldier comes in and he's like, oh, my dad would want me to show hospitality to this man, but the same thing was happening. What the questions that he ignored, like, Why is he? Why did he come from there? Why is he?
Yes,
Yeah,
this
it
doesn't
doesn't
make
make
sense. His
Yeah,
story
why did
isn't
he ask me
driving.
where my dad was?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So I found that it's such a good lesson. I always tell my kids, you don't have to be nice to strangers.
No.
Yes.
All the stuff that we were taught back in the day, same thing. Like personal boundaries, their thing. You know, like
Yeah.
you touch them, that's it. Like no other people touching your personal boundaries. Secrets don't exist. You know,
Yeah.
Adults don't need help from children.
Adults don't need help from children. You don't need. It's not your duty to find some dude's lost dog or take candy from a stranger.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think is really important once our teens get to be of a certain age is the single most important thing you have for keeping your children safe is an open channel of communication. I am not a fan of no punishment ever, no boundaries ever. That creates like small terrors on wheels.
Yes.
But when your child ends up at a party and they didn't bring drugs to the party, but drugs are getting whipped out and now they're uncomfortable,
Yeah.
or somebody, they thought they were drinking punch, but it was spiked and now they're feeling loopy, they need to be able to call you and use
Yeah.
a code word that doesn't make them look like a tattletale in front of their friends.
Oh, yeah.
So they
Yes.
can be like, oh yeah, mom, blah, 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 I spilled on my red dress, or, maybe the word's red or dress, or, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's code for the mom to then call back and be like, hey, your uncle's in the hospital.
Yes. Yes.
And I need to come get you.
Yeah.
And then you need to not punish your kid for having the guts to call and say, I found myself in a situation that I didn't intend to be in.
Yes.
Or maybe I did intend to be in it. And then I was just out of my depth. And I'm crying out for help, because when they're afraid of being grounded for 4 weeks and their car taken away, they're not going to call you. And what's
Right.
going to happen is they're going to be taken into a back room and they're going to be, stripped down, and somebody's going to take extortion pictures of them.
Yeah.
And then they're going to say, we're going to pimp you out. And your kid's going to be like, no, you're not. And they're like, yeah, we are, because we have pictures of you half naked in a room with cocaine the other night. And we're going to send that to your entire daddy lay pastor's church congregants
Right.
and all the people at high school. And you're going to be a laughingstock.
Yeah.
And that kid is now owned by a pimp who was way smarter and savvier than that kid was. All of that could have been avoided if they could have just called and said, hey, this party is out of control. I need to ride out, and I need to not be punished for it,
Yeah.
for doing the right thing. So, again, things to think about before the situation presents.
Definitely.
So that your
Definitely.
kids have a code word. And it could be an 8-year-old at a slumber party. I mean, maybe the dad is just giving creeper vibes. It happens
it
a
happens.
lot at slumber parties.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yes.
Okay, these men let their wives go out of town. They don't want to order from Backpage because Backpage.com doesn't exist anymore. They
Yeah.
let their kids have a sleepover.
Boom.
Boom, they're in a
Yeah.
sleeping bag, they're drowsy, dad's creeping up on the friend. Like, that is a primary. The kid needs to be like, dude, the dad is just sitting there staring at me and like won't let me close the bathroom door when I'm trying to get in my jammies,
Yeah,
and this is
that's-
weird.
that's weird,
And your
yeah.
kid needs to be able to like text you and be like, code word, whatever, and you need to be able to call and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I have to take her away from the slumber party. She was so looking forward to it, but Uncle Joe's about to die, so
Yeah.
peace out.
Right. Absolutely. That's great advice, because it does happen all the time.
It does.
I
It
hear
really
stories
does.
like that.
Yeah.
So I got one more question for you. What can the audience do to help out Piece of Heaven and the kids?
It is the single most important thing you can do with your life. Period, full stop. Okay? We're all going to be old one day. And this is not, by the way, the reason you should do it, but it's something to think about. And these children who are 8 and 10 and 18 and 28 years old, they're going to be taking care of us.
Yeah.
And they need empathy. And they need to not be communists. And they
Yeah.
need to not be genocidal terrors. And to that degree, we need to keep them safe, okay? The people who are CNAs, the people who are taking care of old people in old age homes need to not be crazy,
Yeah.
okay? They need to not be the product of having been pimped out for half their life. They do
Right.
not be the product of having been on 15 different pharmaceutical medications from the time they were in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
They need to not have been in and out of foster care and abused by, 15 people 8 ways to Sunday. That does not lead to normal, healthy, stable adults. Are there exceptions to the rule? Yeah. Okay? A lot of the people that you meet that are crazy, hardcore freedom fighters are the exceptions to the rule. We had chaotic households, we came from abusive situations, and we said, to hell with that, not going to happen on my watch.
Right.
But 90% of the time, this is a generational curse. Kids act out what they experienced, particularly, unfortunately, those with Y chromosomes. The women turn it inward, they get depressed.
Yes.
The men go and become the perpetrators that perpetrated unto them. So there is a lot to be said for investing in the youth. They are in charge of this country. The ones that are not working as CNAs in old age homes will be the politicians. They will be the legislators. They will be the judges. They will be the prosecutors. They will be the presidents.
Yes.
And again, they need to not be communists. They need to not be insane. And so there is a vested interest we all have societally in raising the next generation correctly and making sure that they are flourishing and prospering and living and loving and know God and know right from wrong.
Yes.
And when you are being trafficked, that is mutually exclusive with everything else I just talked about.
That's right.
So we need to not have trafficking occur on our watch. It is the single largest criminal economy in the world soon. Right now it's drugs, but it's neck and neck, and keeping children for profit is going to be taking out drugs soon.
Whoa.
Because there's way more profit. If I sell you a child and you like it and you come back tomorrow night, I just rent her. I don't need to go buy another child. I sell you cocaine, it's gone. You blow it up your nose, the blow is gone. I need to go take the money you gave me last night, go buy more cocaine so I can sell more cocaine to you this night. This is all hypothetical, by the way. I'm not a coke dealer. If Governor Newsom's listening. But you get the idea. When you're running illegal drugs and arms, a portion of the gross, the $100 that comes in, 30 or 40% is going back into resupply.
Yeah.
When you're
Wow.
renting children until they die, you've got no hard costs except a Happy Meal once a day. That's about all they feed them, keep them skinny. And, so $5-10 and a Motel 6 bedroom that you shove 8-10 girls into a night, 30-40 bucks, and you got 10 girls in there, right? So the hard costs are nominal.
Yeah.
This is a 90+% profit margin. And the gangbangers in Compton aren't idiots. They're as smart as many of the really smart businessmen are. They're like, well, I can make 60-70% running coke, or I can make 95% running girls. They're moving into running girls. So are the Yakuza mafias over on the Asian side of the world.
Right.
Every big-time cartel, every big-time mafia, every small-time gangbanger is running kids for sex because the profits are obscenely good.
Whoa.
So it is a thriving economy. It should not be. We should have eradicated trafficking centuries ago.
Yeah.
Slavery should have been a thing of the past, round about Abe Lincoln era.
Yeah.
But it is experiencing a resurgence on our watch. God did not put you here to be a frickin' pumpkin. Your
Right.
highest and best use is not exchanging O2 for CO2. Your highest and best use is not even being a soccer mom or dad. Now, I am venturing to say that if you're my age and you're a little plump and you're a happy little soccer mom or dad, that you are never going to get the chance to go be a Medal of Honor winner. The likelihood that you will be diving into a foxhole this lifetime when you're already 53 years old like me, slim to none. But you can be the hero that you always wanted to be.
Yes.
You can be the soccer mom that God put you here to be, that you're darn good at, times 100.
Yeah.
And the way you do that is by digging deep into your heart and your pocketbook and bringing resources to bear on things like peace, P-E-A-C-E, peace of heaven, .life. The best trafficking rescue facility this side of the Mississippi. This is what we are really creating right now. Mary Flynn said it today. She said there is going to be a huge need for this coming down the pike, and I can't say more. But we all know what's been going on at the border during the last administration.
Yes.
Hundreds of thousands, millions of kids that are just brought into this country. Who knows where they are? Okay, when we pull them out of the mix, they need places to go. There's 7, some of them. You can't just be like, well, you're almost 18. We're going to give you a vocation, and God bless you. See you later.
Yeah.
Like age 7, you need places to put them, and they cannot be institutions run by CPS. So there's a huge need.
Right.
There is not enough, and this is the way you get to be the hero that you always wanted to be.
Awesome. Awesome.
So do it now. Don't
Do
delay.
it now, you guys.
Amen.
Go to peaceofheaven.life and help out any way you can. Dig deep, and together we can make this happen.
Absolutely.